Hi everybody, welcome back once again to the Eastfield Gunroom YouTube channel. Today's review is not the norm, it's a little bit of a curveball. Regular members of the channel will know that we have previously looked at a Australian model Miroku, which was the 9000. If you haven't seen the video, do check it out. Today we bring you another one. Today we're going to look at the Miroku MK10. Now I have said in previous videos that the Miroku range varies massively depending where you go throughout the world. You know, we have the MK38 here, the MK60, the MK70, but if you go to Australia in particular, the models are completely different, lots of different features, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. So we have got in front of us a 2010 model MK10 trap. Now the MK10, to all intents and purposes, is the same build, design, action, style, manner, what we're going to call it, as an MK38, as an MK70. It's a Japanese-made, deep-bodied, full-length locking bolt design. So this one here, very different to what we get in terms of engraving here in the UK. If you get a grade 1 in the UK, it's normal sort of scroll work. If you go to the grade 5, again, we've done a video on that. We've done a video on both of them, in fact. It's much more ornate, deep relief, much deeper scroll work. So what we have got pheasants on one side with a kind of a field scene, and on the other side, we've got a pair of flighting ducks that look like they're about to high-five and go off to the football. I can't remember a Miroku with that kind of grade 1 engraving in the UK for a number of years. The MK70 older game gun was a little bit similar, but this is quite different because it's very, very sparse. There's no border engraving on the fore-end iron. There's nothing around the top. It's almost completely polished, apart from these little game birds that have just been sort of chucked in the middle with a bit of a scene around the outside of them. Barrels. So eagle-eye viewers will notice straight away this gun has got ventilated barrels. Now the 9000 have ventilated barrels, again Australian market model. Here in the UK, the 38s, 70s, the 60s, no ventilation. Not quite sure why this is, but I'm a fan of ventilated barrels. I know a lot of people are. If you buy the equivalent Browning, if you look at the sort of the 525 versus MK38 video we did recently, the 525 is ventilated, the MK38 is not. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but it is what it is. So the rib itself is different to an MK38. With an MK38, MK70, etc., we have 10mm parallel with a centre bead and a tram line. This is actually 13 by 10 tapered rib with a centre bead and a tram line. But also the way the rib is actually fitted to the barrels is the same as an Ultra XS, and the width of the rib is the same as XS. So we'll say it's an XS rib, shall we? Okay, so ventilated, 2 3/4 and 3-inch chambers on the barrels as standard, which is what you'll get on all modern day Mirokus. Remember, this is a 2010 model. If we take the barrels off, so even though these tubes are both ventilated barrels and a ventilated rib, there's no gap here, which you do tend to get with a lot of modern Mirokus because it just changes the balance and the weight of the barrels ever so slightly. Now, if you look carefully, you'll see that there's no mention of Invector Plus or anything like that. No choke stamping on the barrels because these guns are actually thin wall choked by Briley, and these take the Briley C300 multi-chokes. Now, what that basically means is it's a thin wall choke, so it takes a little bit of weight out the front end and in essence should increase the balance. So let's try it. Yeah, it's maybe a tiny, tiny bit barrel heavy. The gun itself weighs 8 pounds 8 ounces. So we talked about the C300 Briley chokes. Now they have moved on to Invector Plus, I understand. We look at the back end of it. Like I said, we've got a completely polished top lever. The selector's exactly the same. It's an MK38 kind of here, but nowhere else. Also, we've got an adjustable trigger. Now, whereas you would get one on an MK38 Sporter, you don't get one on the 60 or the 70. It's got a fully polished trigger rather than the checkered one, again, you'd get with an MK38. And when we move on to the stock, things change again. If you remember the 9000 video, you watch a 9000 video, you might recall that gun had a palm swell. Now, if you buy an MK38, 70, 60 in the UK, whatever, even MK11, there are no palm swells apart from the MK38 trap gun with a factory adjustable comb, which is now obsolete. So what you've got here, you've got a palm swell. You've also got a factory adjustable comb, which adjusts on the side. It's not quite the same in terms of it's not as horrendous as the pre-2019 525 comb, etc. It's not as bad as that. And you've also got a standard honeycomb trap ventilated recoil pad. Now, the big thing for me with this is it makes it 15 inches overall, whereas a standard MK38 trap gun is now 14 and 5/8. They've always been a bit on the short side. So it makes it a very universal gun. I've actually shot this a couple of times. It's a really, really nice bit of kit. Obviously, with it being a standard trap gun, we've got a beaver tail forend. It's not an oil, it's a lacquered finish, reasonable quality woodwork. And even the grip is slightly different because it's not like a full trap grip. It's not almost 90 degrees. It's swept back a little bit and it just feels really, really nice. The gun does feel nice. I've got to be honest with you. Like I said, I've shot it a couple of times, shot it well, really, really a big fan of it. So we flip over this nicely figured piece of grade 2 and a bit European walnut. And in the bottom of the pistol grip, we've got the Miroku badge, which has been laser engraved into the bottom of the pistol grip. Nice little touch. That's something a bit different. We move on to the bottom of the action. We've got BC Miroku MK10 trap. Yeah, all good with that. And then either side of the barrel lockup, we've got what looks like some seahorses that have been squashed through some bike spokes, which I understand happens a lot in Australia. I don't know what that is, but it's engraving and it's not for me. Okay, so moving on to the box. Now, first of all, the box. We don't get them here in the UK. You've got to buy a MK11 to get a case. Even a new grade 5 comes in a cardboard box, which I've touched on in quite a few videos. Now, I know this looks like it might house some sort of medical equipment or a trumpet, but it's actually the case for the gun. I mean, it's got this kind of hard redwood kind of finish on the top, smothered in aluminium. Obviously, it is a flight case. That's why there's combination locks, etc. So we'll just bring it in. And inside, we have got all kinds of goodies. So we have got genuine egg box foam, okay? We have got a little BC Miroku box, which we have definitely seen before. And inside we've got the keys for the case. And interestingly enough, we've got some factory, I believe, comb spacers. Now, you don't get those with any adjustable comb Miroku here in the UK. So if they are original, that's another nice touch. Well done, Miroku Australia. Book of words, which again, you would expect. MK10, MK30, MK60, MK70. Inspection certificate, we've seen that before. MK10 trap. BTWC, sounds like some sort of biking championship, but I think it's about the thin wall chokes, Briley thin wall chokes. God, I'm good. I should have been in the MI5. 12 gauge, grade 1, 30 inch, serial number, who's inspected it, all the stuff. Now, interestingly enough, it mentions here that it comes supplied with full and 3/4. We talked about the Briley 300 thin wall chokes. We've also got a plethora of other ones. So we've got some skeet, in flush, we've got some extended, and you can feel the difference. You know, you pick this up to an equivalent like Teague choke, which is stainless, which is a lot heavier because it's a lot thicker. And alongside that, we have got some smart little coloured band extended Briley C300s as well. And the traditional Briley speed wrench, various Allen keys to adjust the stock, etc. So there you go, there's the case. Interesting look, does the job. Obviously, it's an aluminium flight case. You can take it all over the place with confidence. So there you have it. It's a really, really universal piece of kit. It's a great package, regardless of the fact it says MK10 trap on the bottom just before you get to the bits with the seahorses that have been jammed in the bike spokes. It's very universal. You can use it for anything. We've got an adjustable comb. We've got factory multi-chokes. I, for one, really, really like this gun. I think it's excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing more Australian Mirokus on this table here, so do stay tuned for that. If you've got any questions about this particular gun, please contact me directly. Don't forget to check out the website. Feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again soon.